Hello friends, welcome to my cozy haven. My name is Fiona. I'm really glad you clicked my video today. I'm just going to be chatting to you about the books that I have read the last fortnight and what I plan to be reading this weekend. It's been a fairly decent, it's been a sort of slow reading fortnight, but that because the books are a bit chunkier than they were, so that's fine by me. I don't mind. We were away last week for a couple of days. We went down to Melrose and the Scottish borders. Excuse me. Had a nice time. The hotel, unfortunately, we've stayed in it before, but it's not as good as it was, which was a shame. So yeah, that was disappointing. The food wasn't as as good as it has been either. So yeah, but that's the way it goes. But it was nice to go away for a couple of days, met some friends, and that was lovely. But it was very nice to come back home. But yeah, so that's kind of that. This week it's just been a very, very quiet week. Not been doing very much at all. I keep saying don't I? Must stop that. So yes, it's been a quiet week. Have I done anything? I was out with the other half, so that was nice. I was out with him for a cuppa. I had a yoga session as well, which was lovely. But that's kind of been just my slow week. I'm meeting up with a friend tonight, so that's going up to her house tonight. So that'll be very nice. So I'm looking forward to that. But I've been wittering now for coming on for 2 minutes. I think we should get on to the books, don't you? So the first book I finished was The Seaside Secret Escape by Heidi Swain. I gave this one 4 out of 5. I have my story graph open here beside me so I can remember what I read. So in this one we meet Tess, and Tess has been working in the family firm for years. Since she graduated, she's worked her way up from the very bottom because her father said that's what she had to do. And something goes wrong with this advertising PR person, celebrity, and Tess feels she needs a break, and the only place that she thinks that she can go for a break is Wynmouth, which is the seaside village that herself and her parents used to go to when she was a child, and she loved it there. So she goes to Wynmouth and and rents a cottage. And it's the story of her stay. It's also the story of her learning things about her family that she didn't know, reconnecting with a place, reconnecting with her father. Also making connections and friends within the town itself and helping them out, which I really, really liked. I loved this of almost like found family. There is found family as well in this story, and second chances. It was a really good read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know I gave it 4, and I can't remember it wasn't because there was anything negative writing about the book. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't one of my favourite of hers, so I think that's possibly why it's been marked down a wee bit. But no, thoroughly enjoyed being back in Wynmouth. Really enjoyed the characters. I liked Tess. I think I know what it was. I found her a bit annoying at times in that she would maybe jump in without knowing all the facts, and things could kind of blow up at times. And that was I'm like, really? What age are you, woman? So that a bit annoyed me a bit. She made assumptions about various things, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. But no, I thought I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I've read it. I think this is me up to date with all the Wynmouth ones. I'm not sure. But no, thoroughly enjoyed this one. It was good. And definitely if you're looking for... this is actually the very first in the Wynmouth series, supposedly. I don't think it is. Hold on, and I will just double check. I'll put you on pause a minute. No, Storygraph is right. This is the very first of the Wynmouth series. So yeah, get it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was a good start to a series. So yay! I just realised I'm up to date with this series. Woohoo! But no, definitely, if you're looking for a nice summary read, this is probably one to go for. The next book I read is Murder at First Slice by Valerie Burns. This is the final book in the Baker Street series. At least I think it's the final book. I'm not sure whether she will keep writing more. I would love it if she did. But I don't know if that's what she's going to do. So, in this book, the main character, who I'm blanking on at the moment, hold on 1 minute, Maddie, is getting married, and various people are coming to the town to celebrate her engagement. And excuse me a minute, I need to do something. I was just double checking that the name right. It is Maddie. So everybody's come to town to celebrate her wedding, including this aunt of Michael's, her fiance's. And this woman is an absolute pill. She is really not nice. She's vindictive. She has, she's a horrible mouth on her. Not persuading, but just the things that she says. And at the very first kind of family get together, herself and Michael's aunt, who has the onset of dementia, who helps in the bakery, etc., they have a bit of a run-in. And the nice aunt, because I'm blanking on her name, I'm sorry, walks out. Later that day, Maddie goes to the bakery and discovers that the nasty aunt is dead in front of beside the bakery, and the other aunt who is obviously having one of her dementia periods, goes, "Why is there blood on this rolling pin?" And Maddie's like, let's put that down and let's just, and she sort of phones various friends first, then the police. And they discover that, the woman was poisoned. She happened to be poisoned by a tart that the nice aunt made. And unfortunately, like, the police chief is ill, and this new guy comes in, and he's not good. He's lazy, he won't do his job, he's already put the good aunt, she's in his sights. So Maddie and the Baker Street gang get together and they solve whodunit. I really enjoyed it. I gave this one 5 stars. I thought the character, I just love the series anyway. I love the characters, I love the setting, and just to see how it all worked together, and what it meant for the families and everything else. It was a delightful read. Now that Maddie's married, I don't know, I would love to see more, but I'm really not sure whether Valerie Burns is going to do so. I don't know whether she said, I've got a sneaking suspicion she said that she was stopping this series and the Mystery Bookshop series because both characters are getting married. I'll be really sad to see these go, because both have been such great series for me. But there's a time for stopping and a time for starting new things, and maybe that's the situation. But no, thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would say, though, that you have to read this series in order. You can't just jump in. You have to read the series in order to get the full kind of story and everything. But no, thoroughly enjoyed it. Great series, definitely one to start. I then tried The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Yeah, you heard me, I tried. I got to sort of 70 odd pages in, 77 pages in, and I not for me'd it. I just couldn't connect with the characters. I wondered what the plot line was about. No, unfortunately. I mean, I loved her The Mysterious Bakery in Rue de Paris. I loved that book. The Story Collector was for me. It was okay. And this one's meh. So, what is interesting, I told one of my friends who's read this one, she said, I really liked it. I'm like, no, it's just, I just couldn't get into it. So, I decided, no, I'm just going to not for me it and leave it at that. Whether I will try reading any more of Evie Wood stuff, I don't know. I think because I've had one really good. I just don't know whether I'm gonna keep with her or just say, no, I've tried her and that's going to be it. But yeah, I was sad that this was the situation, but that's the way reading goes. The next book I picked up was Love Letters at the Borrow Bookshop by Kylie Dunbar. Gave this one 4.5 out of 5. So we're back in the lovely Clover Loaf and the Borrow Bookshop. And this time it is Austen Archer who is the new borrower. She loves poetry and likes to write poetry, but unfortunately, for various reasons, her flow or the words are just not coming for her, and it is very frustrating for her. She is finding it very hard to not be able to write. She's hoping that time in Cloverloaf and at the Borough Bookshop will give her, the inspiration that she requires. While she's doing the Borough Bookshop, while she's in the bookshop, she's sort of taking photographs for Instagram and stuff like this, and then this account on Instagram responds to her and they start texting each other, and it's supposedly from a bookshop in Paris. Various things within the conversation, you're like, honey, should you really be doing this? It seems to be very one way. And Austen is also making friends within the village, especially Patty, who is Radia's aunt. Radia from the book before this, the wee precocious 5-year-old. And Austen she's not wanting her heart broken. I think it's been broken before, and she's not wanting it broken. Patty doesn't want to start something with a borrower who is just going to be here for a couple of weeks and then that's it. So they're circling around one another as to will they, won't they? And if they do, what's going to happen? Also, what's going to happen with this person in Paris? And what will that mean for them? So I enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. I found Austen a bit too naive at times, I have to say. I was like, come on, girl, waking up. There's been enough about people scamming you online that you should know. It's like the red light should be flashing at some point. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got one more book to read. I'm waiting on that to come. I've got one more book to read in this series, and it's been really enjoyable. I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. At least I think there's only one more to come. I don't know if Kylie's going to be writing anymore, but I've got one more still to read. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a good read. Again, I would say probably need to read the books in order so that you get the whole story of how characters come into the series. The next book I read was Colton by Lacquette, and this is book 2 in the Restoration Ranch series. Now, I'm going to put a warning out immediately. This has lots of spice. And I'm not just talking partial open door, we're talking full-blown graphic descriptions. If I'd known this, I would not have read this book. I read this is a new tool publishing, comes out next week, okay? I think there should have been a content warning in this as to how much graphic sex there was in it. The storyline itself was really, really interesting. I'm not going to say very much about that because it's book 2 I think you need to... I didn't read book 1 and I probably missed some of the story plot. What it is Colton is a Texas Ranger, and there was a situation at Restoration Ranch in book 1, and he was part of the team that helped with that. And he struck up a friendship with Seneca. Now, Seneca and some of the others at Restoration Ranch are ex-cons. They've been in prison, and they come here to, I'm not going to say the word view, but come back into the world and to have a job that will give them prospects. And he didn't let Seneca know who he was because he was there undercover. He tells her, but then ends up, she's not very happy, but they kind of make up. And then there's a situation with the local sheriff who is not a nice guy. And he is trying to blackmail Seneca. But there's also an FBI agent who comes in who's a friend of Colton's and various other people who are at Restoration Ranch. And he tries to make Seneca do something that he wants her to do. And Colton's like, stay away from him, he's not a good guy. Seneca takes things into her own hands that could have deadly consequences, not only for her, but for other people. As I say, that was your synopsis type thing, is that you had this she was in a situation, etc. But as I say, what you didn't get was the warning for graphic sexual content. I'm not a prude, and I don't mind sex scenes, but as long as they move the plot forward, this didn't. In my opinion, it did not move the plot forward. I think in one case there was 5 pages of sex. I'm like, really? Do I need this? No. Do I want this? No. As I say, I don't mind open door scenes, but maybe just 1 or 2 in a book, but not numerous. So just be warned, the plot line apart from that was good. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the characters. And I enjoyed seeing Seneca work her way through various issues. And also Colton. I thought that was really well done. And I liked, the overall arching storyline. I could just have done without the rest of it. But that's fine. But you live and learn. But no, I gave it 3 because I took so much off because of the graphic content. But, if you don't mind that, then this could be one for you. It's like a romantic suspense. I would say, though, I would definitely read book 1 first. Because, as I say, I kind of lost a few bits and pieces because I hadn't done so. So that's my thoughts. What am I going to be reading this weekend? Well, I've got quite a number going. I still have my Gladys Taber Still Meadow, but I'm just dipping in and out of that, which is nice. I still have To the Women by Donna Ashcroft. Hold on. Just take it out. No, stay. So yeah, Donna Ashworth. I'm now on page almost 198, so yeah, I've got a wee bit to go. But I don't know if I'll get it finished this month. It would be nice if I did. I started reading All We Want for Christmas by Philippa Ashley. This is set in Ravendale Castle. They're doing an illuminated Magic of Christmas Winter Spectacular. And I'm enjoying it. I'm in chapter 15, so I am enjoying it. It's a fun read. So very, very much palette cleanser. Well, this is the palette cleanser from Colton, but I don't know that it's not going to be an easy read, I don't think. And that is The Shalley School in Peril by Catherine Bruce. This takes place at the same time as Shalley School in Exile. And this is obviously to do with the start of the Second World War, the Anschluss, and things like this. It's going to be possibly a hard read because of, you know, what the subject matter is and what you know is going to possibly happen to a number of the girls who are at the Shalley School. Yeah, it started off really well. I'm enjoying where it's going, but you can hear and feel the tension in the adults. Some of the older pupils are aware of it as well, and there is tension for them. But the juniors and some of the middles have no idea. They don't know why this is why they've moved from down in the lakeside up into the mountains into the Sonalp. They don't know, and they just think this is a big adventure. And you're like, oh, you know. And the staff are doing the right thing, and they're not telling the pupils, you know, why they've moved, etc. Although the seniors have been told, they know, the prefects know. So, yeah. As I say, I think it's going to be a slightly difficult read for me to, you know. I think anybody who knows what happened Second World War will understand why a book set in Austria at the beginning of the Anschluss and everything like that is just going to be tough. And then the other book I'm starting this weekend is I'm starting a buddy read with my friend Rebecca, who is Colourful Book Nester. We're starting The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. I am really looking forward to this. I haven't watched the TV series. I made sure I didn't. I possibly will do once I've started reading this. We're going to start this tomorrow. Going to read 5 chapters a day, and yeah, I am looking forward to getting back in with the Bennets and just seeing how she develops Mary, and, you know, the things that happen to her. So thoroughly looking forward to this one. So those are all the books that I've read in the last fortnight and what I'm going to be reading this weekend. Please come chat with me down in the comments. What have you been reading? Have you read any of the books that I've mentioned? I would love to know. If you did, what do you think of them? No spoilers if they're ones that I'm either reading or I'm about to read. I don't want to know. I'd be happy to know what you thought. What have you been doing? Have you been doing anything interesting, exciting? Just let me know. What are your plans for the weekend? What are our plans? My mum's got an optician's appointment tomorrow, so we've got that. We've got rugby this weekend as well. Glasgow are in the semi-finals of the URC, so go Warriors. They play the Bulls from South Africa, but they're playing it at home. They're playing it in Scotland, so that's good. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I'll just read and then rest and just hopefully enjoy my weekend. But that's it for this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. On your way down to chat with me in the comments, if you haven't already and you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love you to subscribe. It'd be really, really lovely. And my channel just keep growing, and that is just wonderful. I'm so happy about that. But until my next one, friends, stay safe. Happy reading. Bye.